Right. Hello to whoever's watching this. What I'm doing here is just showing off what I did with custom entity models in Optifine. I thought it was pretty cool, just because I've always wanted a way to add player like NPCs into my world, and I finally figured out probably the best way to do it so far, besides like remodeling a specific item durability on a diamond hoe that you place into a no, this is actually like, these are actually like real. Okay, don't walk around. But anyways, they're actually like real like entities. So I just thought it was really cool. But basically, what you do is you take a name tag and you rename it to whatever you want it to be. So if I put like, so if I take name tag, rename it to what I want, that's me, so I would rename it to cream cheese, obviously. But basically, take a name tag, rename it to whatever you want, spawn a villager. It has to be a farmer type, so this is the command, profession 0, so it has to be a type farmer. It can't be any of the other types, other coats. It has to be the farmer one. And basically, you take him, rename him, boom. Now it's a player. It's a player entity. It's the same entity, but it just, as you can see, but it just looks like a player. Like, it'll walk around, look like a normal player. You can see that one right there. Okay. This resource pack, I only added in a few ones just because these are the only ones I added in. I plan on making a full like release of the pack where I add more like specific villagers for specific builds, like maybe medieval type ones, like more like the knight and the king, different ones like for different settings. I don't know, you can just already imagine like the possibilities that you can do with this. I mean, you can add in a lot into your world just by adding like players. It'll feel way more lively if you got a bunch of these little dudes like running around like actual players. I don't know. You'll never be lonely. So another thing is, obviously capital letters don't matter. It just has to be the right word. So like, yeah. That's it basically. Like I said, I'll probably make an official resource pack that adds in like a ton of custom villagers that you can add in, sort of like the item, one of those resource packs. But the way I was able to do this, so next I'm probably gonna explain how I did this, and then after that show you how you can add your own player skin into this pack. You can edit this pack to add in your own if you wanted to, you know. I mean, I'm gonna release an official version of this that includes like a ton of different players, but if you wanted to add in your own, like one of your own skin, kind of like I did, then you could probably go ahead and do that with the way I'm going to show you. But first I want to talk about how this works. So how this works is basically, like, as you can see, like, you rename these, it won't do anything. That's because so the villager model originally is just the legs, body, arms, head, nose thing, but I added on top of that the player model. So each entity of the villager has the original villager entity model and also the player model on top of that, but the skin that they use has no textures for the player model part. I can explain that more once I show the actual textures. So basically, all these guys, they have like the player model on them. It's just that the texture is invisible, so you don't see it. Now, I made it so that when you rename the farmer type, when you rename them, the original texture, this part, turns invisible, and the skin part is visible. So basically, that's how I got around making, you know, basically custom entities that you can add into your world just by making parts of the texture invisible and parts of it visible. Now I'll show you how you can make your own. Alright, so this is how you add your own custom skin into the resource pack if you want. So first, what you want to do is download a skin that you want to use. It can be your own skin, some skin off the internet, or whatever. Then you want to download an image editing program. I prefer GIMP. It's like Photoshop but free with a lot less features. And then what you want to do is import it into your photo editing program. And if you have a 1.7 skin, you need this to be in the 1.8 format, which is a 64 by 64 canvas. If it's in 1.7 format, it'll only be here up, so it'll only be like 64 by 32, and you don't want that. So to fix that, you would just go to image canvas size, make it 64 by 64, and then copy and paste this part to right there, and then this part to right here, and that'll update it. Or I'm sure there's an updater on the internet somewhere. But if it's the 1.7 format, it won't work. So anyways, what you do once you load up your picture is go to image canvas size. It'll be 64 by 64. You want it to be 128 by 64, so twice as wide. If it's not these exact dimensions, it won't work and it'll crash your game. So make sure it's 128 by 64, click resize, and then it'll be twice as wide. Then you just go to file, overwrite your skin, and then you can close out of it. Boop. And now I'll show you how to add it into the rack. So once you do that, you want to go ahead and go back to your pack, and so Minecraft resource packs, and I have it here. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. It's a zip folder, but to unzip it, what you need to do is download something like WinRAR. It's technically not free, but there's a free trial. Anyways, so right click it, extract files, okay. It'll extract the files and save it to a folder, player NPC pack. Then you go assets, Minecraft, Optifine, mob, villager, and you'll see the folder with all the skins that I have loaded in there. Now you want to take both of these, or whatever skin you're doing, plop it into there, close out of that now. Rename them to farmer and then the next number, so FARMER 7, so next number would be 8, farmer 8, and then this one I'll rename it to farmer 9. Alright, then you want to take this and edit it. You can edit it with Notepad++ or just Notepad. It doesn't matter, either one. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna edit it with Notepad++ just because that's what I always do. I don't know if you can do it with normal Notepad or not because of the type of file it is. But Notepad++, it's free. You should just download it, use it. It's really helpful. Only problem is it takes a while to load sometimes. But I'll probably crop this part out. Okay, once it's loaded, basically you'll kind of recognize the pattern. So for Farmer 2, which is the cream cheese skin, this is what it looks like. To load up Farmer 3, which is the farmer skin, this is what it looks like. Basically, so for Farmer 8, that's the medieval kind of knight dude. I just downloaded a random skin I found. Basically, copy and paste this part, or you can type it out yourself, like skins.7. You can type it out yourself, but it's just a lot easier to copy and paste and edit. So basically, replace all the 7s with 8s, and replace the word right here with whatever you want the name to be. So I want the name to be cool. You can put underscores, you can put spaces, it doesn't matter. Cool, mid. Okay, I'm gonna keep things simple, but do that. And now the next one, that's from my friend, so I'm gonna go ahead and just change all the numbers to the new number. So for this skin, Farmer 9, I'm gonna replace all these with 9s. And then I'll just name it Jack, because that's his name. So then you can either go to File, Save, or just press Control S to save it. It's way faster that way. But done with that. And now this will be cool, man. Okay, I had to remember what I had to name to. So now I'll show you it in game. Okay, so once you added in your things into the resource pack, what you want to do is, if you extracted the file like I did and left the old one in there by accident, I accidentally left the .zip in there. So that's still in here. Make sure you're not loading the .zip and you're loading the one without .zip. But anyways, if you're just running this from a folder, you have to refresh the texture pack so that everything updates. You do that by pressing F3 and T. I already refreshed it, but you might need to do that if it's not working. So then you have your name tags renamed to what your custom mobs were, and boom, there it is. You can also use one with NoAI for it to be completely still. I'll leave all the commands in the description also. But if you want one that's going to stand completely still, obviously the arms still have their little arm animation, but it's going to be like a player that stands completely still. So that's it. That's how you add your own into the pack. I'll make an official pack with a bunch of them that probably won't even need to add your own, but if you want to add your own that's like your personal one, go ahead and do it. Do whatever you want with the pack. If you use it for like a specific map or like do something with it, you can go ahead and do that. I don't care. I would appreciate credit, and maybe even let me know what you did with it, because I'd like to see, you know, the full potential of whatever this like idea can turn into. A special thanks to a guy named Sixfootblue. I'll leave a link to a lot of his stuff in the description, because he was the one who originally made a resource pack that turned all the villagers into players. So basically that gave me the idea, well, what if we kept the original villagers? Because I don't want a bunch of I don't want all my normal villagers to look weird, but adding in custom ones for specific situations would be really cool. And he was the one who ended up making the model, this model that you see here used for all the players. He was the one that made that. I wouldn't have been able to do this without him. If I did, it definitely wouldn't be as good. Like, I can guarantee I wouldn't have like the little arm animations. It would just look really stupid if I did, if I did it. So special thanks to Sixfootblue. I'll leave a link to his pack in the description. He's the guy who made like Item Bound and all those fancy, really cool furniture. He has a lot of cool stuff that if you like this, you'll definitely like the stuff he does. I think it's really cool what he's done. He basically, like, you rename an item, boom, it's a lightsaber. Like, his resource packs are really cool. But again, thank you guys for taking your time to watch this. Make sure you have Optifine installed if you're going to try this, and I'll see you whenever. Thanks.